Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Awake English Podcast. I'm Dan, and tonight I want to talk about something we all have, something we spend every day, something more valuable than money, more valuable than success, more valuable than almost anything else: time. A few months ago, I was drinking coffee on a quiet morning. Nothing special, just an ordinary day. The kind of day most people forget. I looked at the calendar hanging on the wall, and suddenly a strange thought entered my mind. I could clearly remember New Year's Day. I could remember making plans, setting goals, thinking about all the things I would do this year. Yet, somehow, half the year was already gone. I sat there staring at the calendar, wondering where those months had gone. Not because something terrible happened, not because life was difficult, but because time had quietly moved forward without asking permission, without making a sound. And that's when I realized something. Most people don't lose their lives all at once. They lose them one ordinary day at a time. When we are young, time feels endless. We believe we have decades ahead of us. We say things like, "I'll start next year. I'll learn later. I'll travel someday. I'll follow my dream when the time is right." But there is a dangerous illusion hidden inside those words. We assume there will always be another chance, another month, another year, another opportunity. And often there is, until there isn't. One day, next year becomes 10 years later. One day, someday, quietly disappears. One day we wake up and realize we have been postponing our lives, not because we were lazy, not because we were weak, because we believed we had more time than we actually did. My friends, life is generous, but it is not unlimited. Every sunrise removes one day from your future and places it forever into your past. And none of us know how many remain. I sometimes imagine a giant room, the largest room in the world. I call it the waiting room. Millions of people are sitting there, waiting to be happy, waiting to be confident, waiting to feel ready, waiting for the perfect moment. Some are waiting for more money. Some are waiting for more courage. Some are waiting for permission. Some are waiting for certainty. And while they wait, life continues. Children grow up, parents grow older, friendships fade, opportunities pass, seasons change, years disappear. The sad truth is this: the perfect moment rarely arrives. Most meaningful things happen while we're still uncertain. Most successful people didn't feel ready. Most brave people were scared. Most dreams begin before confidence arrives. If you wait until you feel completely ready, you may spend your entire life waiting. Let me tell you about a man I once knew. He worked harder than almost anyone. He always had a plan, always had goals, always had responsibilities. Whenever someone suggested a vacation, he said, "Maybe next year." Whenever someone invited him to spend time together, he said, "I'm too busy." Whenever he thought about pursuing a dream, he said, "Later." He wasn't a bad man. He simply believed life would begin someday. Years passed, then decades. Eventually, retirement arrived, and for the first time, he had all the time he thought he wanted. But something had changed. His energy was gone. His health was weaker. Some friends were no longer alive. His parents were gone. His children were busy building their own lives. One afternoon, he said something I never forgot. He said, "I spent my whole life preparing to live, but I forgot to live." That sentence stayed with me because many people are doing the same thing right now. Preparing, planning, waiting. but not living. This is especially true when it comes to the people we love. To help you visualize this, let me tell you a story. It's about a father who sat down with his young son. One day, a father sat down with his young son. He placed a large glass jar on the table. Inside the jar were hundreds of marbles. The boy asked, "Dad, what are those for?" The father smiled. "These marbles represent the weekends I have left with you before you become an adult." The boy looked confused, so the father explained. He had done the math. Roughly speaking, a child spends most of his weekends with his parents until the age of 18. His son was already 10 years old. That meant there were only a few hundred weekends left. Not thousands, not endless, just a few hundred. Every Sunday evening, the father moved one marble from the full jar into an empty jar. One weekend gone, then another, then another. Years passed. The empty jar slowly filled. The full jar slowly emptied. And one day, there were no marbles left. His son had grown up, moved away, started his own life. The father later said, "I always knew my son would grow up. But I never realized how quickly the marbles would disappear." My friends, most people think life is measured in years, but sometimes life is measured in marbles, in conversations, in sunsets, in dinners together, in ordinary moments. And once they're gone, they're gone. People spend years chasing money, and money matters. Of course it does. We need it to live, to support our families, to create opportunities, to build the life we want. But money has one incredible advantage. You can earn more, lose money, you can make it back, lose a job, you can find another, lose an investment, you can recover. Many people have lost everything financially and built it all again. But time works differently. Once it leaves, it never returns. The hour you spent yesterday is gone forever. The day that passed last week is gone forever. The year that ended is gone forever. No billionaire can buy it back. No scientist can recreate it. No technology can replace it. Think about it. Most of us protect our money carefully. We compare prices. We search for discounts. We worry about wasting a few dollars. Yet every day we give away hours of our lives without even noticing. Hours spent worrying about things that never happen. Hours spent comparing ourselves to other people. Hours spent waiting for the perfect moment to start living. Hours spent holding on to anger, regret, or fear. And the strange thing is, we rarely notice the cost until much later. One day, a parent realizes their children are grown. The years disappeared quietly. One day, an old friend becomes a stranger because too much time passed without a conversation. One day, someone looks in the mirror and wonders where the last 10 years went. Time rarely leaves with a warning. It leaves silently, one ordinary day at a time. That is why the richest people are not always those who have the most money. Sometimes the richest people are the ones who know how to spend their time wisely, the ones who make memories, the ones who nurture relationships, the ones who pursue meaningful work, the ones who appreciate simple moments while they still have them. Because at the end of life, nobody wishes they had spent more hours scrolling. Nobody wishes they had worried more. Nobody wishes they had delayed their dreams a little longer. Most people wish they had been present, more grateful, more courageous, more alive. That is why time is the most expensive thing you own. You are spending it every second, whether you realize it or not. The real question is, What are you spending it on? And more importantly, will the way you're spending it today matter 1 year from now, 5 years from now? When you look back on this chapter of your life, will you be thankful for how you used your time, or will you wish you had chosen differently? As I've grown older, I've noticed something. People rarely regret the things they tried. They regret the things they never did, the call they never made, the trip they never took, the dream they never pursued, the words they never said, the risk they never took. Years later, those unfinished possibilities remain, quietly sitting in the corners of their minds. I am reminded of a beautiful story about a train journey. Years ago, an old man was sitting on a train. Across from him sat a young businessman. The young man was busy. Emails, phone calls, messages, schedules, meetings. He barely looked out the window. Meanwhile, the old man spent the entire journey quietly watching the countryside pass by. Green fields, rivers, mountains, small villages. Hours later, the businessman finally put down his phone. He noticed the old man smiling. Curious, he asked, "What are you looking at?" The old man answered, "Life." The businessman laughed. "It's just scenery." The old man nodded, then said something the young man never forgot. "No, it's my last time seeing it." The businessman looked confused. The old man gently explained, "I am 85 years old. My eyes are getting weaker, and I know I don't have many journeys left." So every tree, every cloud, every sunset had become precious. The train continued moving, and for the first time that day, the young man looked out the window, really looked. Years later, he would say that conversation changed his life because he realized something. The scenery had always been beautiful. He was simply too busy to notice. I've never heard an 80-year-old person say, "I wish I spent more time worrying. I wish I spent more time scrolling. I wish I spent more time comparing myself to others." But I've heard people say, "I wish I had started sooner. I wish I had worried less. I wish I had appreciated what I already had." And perhaps that's the tragedy of life. We often realize the value of things after they are gone. So before I leave you tonight, I want to ask you a question. If this year ended tomorrow, what would you regret? What conversation are you postponing? What dream are you delaying? What goal keeps waiting for the right time? Because the truth is, the right time may never feel right, and life is happening now, not next year, not someday, not when everything is perfect. Now, this very moment, this very day, the day you are living right now will never come again, ever. You will never experience this exact sunrise again, this exact season, this exact chapter of your life. So don't waste it. Call the person you love. Start the project. Learn the skill. Take the walk. Read the book. Write the first page. Take one step. Just one. Because a meaningful life is not built in a single dramatic moment. It is built one day at a time, one choice at a time, 1 hour at a time. And someday, years from now, you will look back, and you will either be grateful for the days you used or regret the days you wasted. The choice begins today, not tomorrow, today. If this episode touched your heart, please share it with someone you care about. Don't wait until tomorrow. Share it today. This is Dan, Mr. Giraffe. Thank you for listening. And remember, the biggest waste of time is believing you have plenty of it.